Of Healthy 24. My name is Yona Linkovsky, and I'm here to talk to you tonight about a few different things that I thought were important to share with the group. First off, I want to give gratitude and praise to everyone who helped me through this process. My coaches and everyone in this group who's been very supportive. I'm very grateful for everyone, and I recommend that if you're struggling, you always reach out for help because there's always someone here who will help you through this journey of getting healthy. So basically, I've been on this journey for about 6 months now. Over the 6 months, I have now lost about 87 pounds. I feel amazing. I have tons of energy, and I'm feeling healthy, and I feel great. And I couldn't do it without this program. I started out at about 265, and I've always had issues throughout my whole life struggling with my weight, fluctuating up and down, trying this program, that program, this diet, that diet, this pill, that pill, and nothing. And there's no way to do it properly like that. At least not in a healthy way. And you never stay healthy. You never stay. You don't keep the weight off, and you don't feel healthy. So there's no shortcuts to getting healthy. But with this program, I'm really grateful that it's super simple, and I love it. So when I started, I was very nervous because I personally had a hatred for vegetables, and I just told myself I couldn't eat anything that was green or any kind of vegetable, and I was able to get past that, and I realized that if I want to make a change in my life, I have to do something different. And basically, I took upon myself, stop being lazy and get up and do something about it. And I saw so many people who have tried this and joined this program, and I saw the results like instantaneously. It was amazing. And so I decided to give it a try because I had nothing else going for me, and I was miserable. I couldn't tie my shoes without getting out of breath. I had to roll over to tie my shoes. It was horrible. But I don't have those problems today, thank God. And the only problems I have now is the clothes that I just bought only a month or two ago. It's finally, after buying new clothes, don't fit me again. So the only downside of this program is you have to make sure you got to spend money on a new wardrobe. That should be the worst of our problems. But yeah, I mean, it's super simple, and I really enjoy it. Oh, hey there, how you doing? Anyways, I was asked to talk about my experiences with being single and doing this program, and also how to handle yourself in social situations. So just to touch on the single aspect, like I said, I lived with my family for a long time. I mean, I've been living on my own now for already a while, but I used to my mom always cooking me dinner, and she made whatever I want and whatever quantities I want, and I just ate whenever I want, and it was just out of control. And now, being single, I have to now be responsible and make sure that I always have food and have the proper food and stuff that I'm actually going to cook. I don't try to take shortcuts. I challenge myself all the time to make different things instead of just making a simple grilled chicken and some simple vegetable serving. I did that in the beginning, and while you're starting off, I recommend you keep it simple. That's always a good start to anything. But with anything, you got to challenge yourself and make it interesting. Otherwise, you get bored real quickly, and when you don't challenge yourself, you're eventually gonna fail. So I recommend that anyone who is struggling with just being sick of the same foods for your lean and green, you definitely go out, look in the room. The group has tons of amazing recipes. Sometimes I just look at a normal recipe and I think, how can I make that work for this program? And I'll reach out to my coaches, I'll reach out to nutrition support, and I'll ask them, can I incorporate this into the program? And I surprise myself sometimes because I never cooked, throughout my life. Like, I always had my mom to cook. The only thing I would make is nachos. I throw some nachos in the oven with some salsa and cheese. Like, that's not cooking. And when I started looking into this group, I started seeing everyone post recipes and whatnot. So, like, I got super interested in that. And I was like, you know what? This isn't super simple. I know how to follow directions. How hard could it be? And then, like, slowly but surely, I was making dishes that I never thought I would make. And, you have to stop being lazy. And you have to do something about it. If nothing changes, nothing changes. So, basically, I would go ahead and challenge myself to make new, different ideas, and then I started thinking of things that I didn't see anywhere, and making all kinds of crazy dishes. But sometimes I keep it simple. Sometimes I'm tired and I just want to make something easy. Make sure that I stay on program, and I'm happy with myself at the end of the day that I went ahead and I took that challenge, because usually, it's always, take the easy way out. And that's how I got to the point where I was holding before I found this program. But, I'm on top of stuff. I always make sure I check my fridge to make sure that I have enough food and proper food for this program. And if I don't, I make sure that I push myself to go and pick up whatever necessary foods I need to get, whether it be going to a special supermarket or ordering some stuff offline, or whatever it is. I always make sure that I'm fully prepared. And that really keeps it super simple. But also, we're going to discuss about dealing with social matters. That's always an issue, regardless if you're single or not. A lot of your friends who might not be on this program, like to go out and eat. And who doesn't like to go out and eat? We all love to go out and eat. But, you sometimes find yourself in awkward situations where you see everyone eating the most crazy foods, and you're like, oh, I want to try this, I want to try that. And then, you hate yourself later for it because you cheated and you totally went off program, and not something I recommend. So when I find myself in those situations, if we go out to eat, I generally will check ahead and like to a restaurant. Like, if I know ahead what restaurant they're going to, I will make sure to figure out what is the best way I can incorporate the program into my meal. There have been times when I noticed that some certain situations, I wasn't able to find stuff that was plan approved. Maybe I didn't find the proper lean or whatnot, but I found just the green. So what I would do is I would just have my green there. I'd have my 3 greens. I brought in scales to restaurants. Maybe it might not be the most comfortable thing to do, but if your friends are real friends, they're not going to judge you for trying to get healthy, and they should support you 100%. And I hang out with a lot of guys, so they like to tease, but they're just doing it because that's what boys do. But in the end, they give me so much support, and that's really super important in this group, is supporting other people. So going out to restaurants can be complicated in terms of, there's also points where I brought my own food with me sometimes to restaurants so that I wouldn't go off plan, or I would just go to hang out with them. Maybe I brought one of my fuelings with me and I would eat my lean and green later. It should never feel uncomfortable, to do the right thing. And there's no point in cheating just so you feel comfortable in a social scenario, because you're just not going to feel comfortable later with yourself. And it's always a downward fall when you start cutting corners and whatnot. Now, it happens once in a while that you will make a mistake here and there. And, I'm not perfect. Sometimes I fall off and I eat the wrong thing or I eat the wrong amounts. And it's hard, especially when you're out and you don't have a scale with you. Like I got used to eyeing things, but that's not the best thing. And, I always recommend that you weigh everything. But there's certain scenarios where you don't get to do that. So don't hate yourself. You take it one day at a time, and you just jump back into it. You don't give up right away. You don't hate yourself. If you think you got out of fat burn, you'll be back in it in 3 days. It's not a big deal. We're on this plan for life. This is a plan to get healthy. It's not a quick fix and then you're done, because that's like anything else. It just doesn't work like that. We're incorporating a new healthy lifestyle, and we look forward to continuing it and helping others. And that's what I chose to start coaching, so I can help other people who are also experiencing problems with trying to live a healthy lifestyle. And basically, I feel that it's an amazing thing to do, because if we continue to help each other, it's paying it forward. And I think that's super important, because in the beginning when I was struggling, I had people helping me in my coaches, and I recommend that it's super important to stay close with your coach. You're not bugging them by asking them questions. That's what they're there for. They rather you bug them with questions than not bug them and just make your own decisions. I highly recommend also that you, if you have questions and maybe your coach is not available, you can always contact nutrition support. They're also super helpful. You can always email them or call them. Calling them is obviously a little bit quicker than email support, but you can also always check the group. The group always has tons of posts from people asking about approved items. There's tons of stuff in the files. Using the Facebook group has been super instrumental to helping me with support in getting this lifestyle incorporated into my daily practices. And going back to talking about social scenarios, I give you an example. Yesterday was Super Bowl party. And I knew exactly what was going to happen over there. There's going to be all kinds of wings, poppers, all kinds of crazy things that I love to munch on, but I just can't do it anymore, I know that if I go back to that, it's just going to be a slippery slope right back up to where I was before, and feeling and hating myself. And I don't want to do that anymore and feel horrible and have no self-confidence and self-esteem. So, I checked ahead with a few people who were bringing food, and I found somebody that was bringing a plain pastrami roast. I checked what condiments he used and whatnot, and I was lucky that my friend whose house was at the Super Bowl party also happened to have a food scale, so I didn't have to bring a food scale. I literally went to there. I brought some greens with me just to make sure that I take care of my 3 greens, and then I borrowed my friend's food scale. And I weighed out the meat and got my 5 ounces, and that was good. Didn't eat any healthy fats. It was perfect. And I enjoyed the Super Bowl party very much. And, I didn't feel bad that other people were eating foods that I couldn't eat, because I know that feeling better, feeling this good inside is worth not having to worry about the issues later of watching people eat all this food that I know is bad for my health and my cholesterol and everything. And I wouldn't trade that for anything. But it's basically, you just got to keep fighting and keep going, and it gets easier as it comes. And if you fall off, it doesn't mean anything. It's all about progress. No one's perfect. God didn't make anybody perfect, and that's what we're here for. We make a mistake, we get up, we brush ourselves off, and it's really about what our next decision is going to be. Am I gonna do the next right thing? And I really truly wholly believe in that. On Saturday I also ate at somebody's house, and I probably ate a little bit more of my protein than I should have, and I realized that after. And then they started bringing out all these desserts and all these crazy things, and I said to myself, and I said to myself, what do I do here, because I'm still a little bit hungry, and I keep seeing all foods I want, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna go sit on the couch and relax and get myself away. So sometimes you have to take yourself out of those scenarios and take preventive action. When you put yourself in and you're not feeling comfortable, there's nothing wrong with it. And oh, hi Diana. She asked, what do you do for challah on Shabbos? Okay, so my two options that I like to do is not to get too Jewish on this because not everyone here on this meeting reviewing it will be Jewish, but for that real quickly, I just have a little piece, so that I'm okay with it. Or you can have whole wheat, half matzah. But basically, I think it's totally cool to go ahead and not be embarrassed about doing this program. And like, I have tons of people that come up to me all the time and they ask me, what are you doing? What's your secret? And like, and I tell them, like, if you're interested, let me know. I can really help you. And it's surprising because generally, I don't go around telling people about it, but I have so many people coming up to me. It's crazy how many people come up to me and ask me, what is your secret? What's the miracle? Blah, blah, blah. What are you taking? Blah, blah, blah. I chose a healthy lifestyle, and I'm using Optavia to incorporate those things, and it's amazing. I had, I always say, like, if you're gonna go out in certain situations, you prepare for any the unexpected. I always have fuelings at work. I have fuelings in my car. I like to play poker sometimes, so I never know how long I'm gonna be there. So I bring a whole bunch of fuelings with me. I just love the fact that, like, first of all, I love the feelings. They're just super delicious. You find the ones you like the most, and that's what you stick to. And then I also love the fueling hacks. The fueling hacks are the best. They definitely check in the group for those. If you are interested in some interesting ones, you can message me privately on Facebook, and I'll tell you what my favorites are. But yeah, it's just exciting because it's not the same thing every day. I get to change it up. I keep it interesting. And I think that's what this program's about. Just keeping life interesting. Go ahead and living a healthy lifestyle, gaining self-confidence and self-esteem. That's about it. I'd like to wish, again, everyone, thanks for joining this. And I really appreciate you guys letting me take time to share my story. Night.